Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're so well. So today we're going to do, it's kind of meant to be like a rest of 2024 reading, but I realized there's only like 2 months left of 2024 and I wanted to make it timeless, so it's kind of a next 3 months reading. Okay, so end of 2024, start of 2025. My god, I can't believe it. And yeah, so it's going to be a pick a deck reading this time. So before I show you the decks, I just wanted to also say that I'm going to be hosting a live light language healing event on the full moon this month, so in 2 weeks time. It's going to be on the 16th of November for Australian time, but that will be the 15th of November for Northern Hemispheres, basically. So I'll link all the information down below. So it's going to be like a live light language healing, and you can purchase a ticket to attend live, or you can purchase the replay if it's not going to suit your time zone. And yeah, it's going to be really fun healing energy, and I'm going to go through all of the chakras and basically channel in alignment with the full moon. And yeah, Spirit just really wants me to put it out there, do a public event again. I haven't done one in a long time. So I'm really looking forward to connecting with you guys, and yeah, just sending you so much love and enjoy the reading. Okay, hello group one. I'm just throwing this video in here as a really quick note that your reading was actually a little bit out of focus, and I'm really sorry. The video was like ever so slightly out of focus. I didn't realize at the time as I was filming, I thought that it was in focus, but I realized that I had the settings wrong. And anyway, so the reading still stands and it's a good reading. And you know, it's actually really funny because the first card that you get is the focus card. So what can I say? I'm just co-creating with spirit, making mistakes. It's all in divine alignment. Anyway, love you guys. See you. Hey group one. So you chose the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. So the next 3 months for you. The next 3 months. What does spirit want you to know? Next 3 months. Focus. Focus for the next 3 months. Focus. Interesting. You're going to be able to focus better for the next 3 months. There's something that you're going to be focusing on. Like I'm seeing, you know, when people bring themselves away from the world, like they go to somewhere in nature so that they can kind of focus or clear their mind. Or, you know, when people go to like a cottage in the woods to work on a book they're writing, or to finish a deadline, or they rent out a hotel. I think that's what J.K. Rowling did when she did Harry Potter. She would rent out hotels before deadlines because it helped her to focus. So focus. You're going to be able to focus, but I'm getting you're going to be giving yourself some kind of environmental shift. Something about your environment is going to help you to focus. And you might also have the ability to go on a trip, to go on a holiday, or to go camping, or something about being closer to nature. Like I'm seeing you maybe having a ritual where you go for a walk in the forest every morning and you meditate in the forest, and it helps to cleanse your energy and align your aura for the day. And then it's like, yeah, I'm seeing over the next 3 months you're going to be really productive. There's something productive about your focus. Like you're focusing on something important to you. You're focusing on your mission of some kind. Yeah, like something about your destiny, like your reason for being on the earth is coming more into focus for you. It's solidifying more. I'm definitely seeing you spending a lot more time in nature, group one. And that's also advice for the next 3 months, is spend more time in nature if you can. And there will be some kind of opportunity that you have, maybe for a trip, or like I said, like maybe to help you with your work in some way, like it would help you. Or maybe it's relocating. For some of you, it might actually be you're going to have the opportunity to relocate. Your environment is going to be different. You might move house, or even move the furniture around in your house. It's going to bring fresh energy, and it's going to help you to focus. So you might have been having frustrations about focus, like, you know, when you can't focus or you can't get into flow state or whatever, you might have been feeling frustrated about this. So there's something about that easing, like the tension around focus easing. Or if you've had a lot of deadlines and you're like, how am I going to make, oh my God, how am I going to make it to a deadline? Spirit's like, don't worry, you can, you'll do it. You're going to make it. So I think what you're going to like about the next 3 months is your ability to focus. It's going to feel really refreshing. Like you're not going to have that monkey brain, scatterbrain, monkey mind thing going on where you can't, like, there's just a million things going on. Like there's going to be a sense of peacefulness, a sense of that restoration after meditation, you know, in the mind, when the mind becomes clear and just settled. Like I find even if I sit in meditation and the whole time my brain is like talking right at me, and I'm trying to bring my awareness into the now, but inevitably there's a lot of monkey mind. Like even if it's a whole session of just monkey mind, I still feel better after meditating. I still feel clearer. I still feel refreshed and clearer, you know? So Spirit's saying that maybe there is some kind of practice that would help you, like meditation or spending time in nature, going for a walk, or being a little bit of a hermit, retreating somehow to help yourself focus. Like you might need to actually, maybe set boundaries. Like I was picking up at the beginning, like you might need to go, if it's available to you, go to a hotel or go to a place in nature where you can be alone to focus. Because you're going to get a lot of downloads. Like your productivity is going to be the most satisfying thing over the next 3 months, is like this productivity that you have. Maybe you've been blocked recently about working on something and you're not going to be blocked anymore. You're going to have the energy that you need to just go. So that's going to be really satisfying for you. Like I'm seeing moving forward, see this path, like I'm seeing you moving forwards on your path, like getting ahead. And I'm seeing it's very like through action, through the actions that you're taking. Like you're meant to be taking actions, you're meant to be focusing, you're meant to be being productive. But don't let that feel overwhelming, because it's going to flow. It's going to come through the flow of things. It's not going to feel like you're forcing it and you can't focus and your brain's so tired or anything like that. It's actually going to be high energy, high frequency action. You're going to be taking a lot of inspired action. You're going to feel very in the flow of things. You're going to feel very in the masculine energy of, like, you know, the masculine within all of us, of like taking action, being a leader, pushing out into the world, being assertive, doing something new, rather than the feminine, which is a lot more receptive and passive and looking inwards. Like this is very much you experiencing your external world. And again, you might have some kind of deadline. I keep feeling like that. For some of you, there's a deadline that's worrying you about something. Will I be able to make it? Will I be able to pay it? Something like this. So Spirit's saying you got this, don't worry. And there's also a message, something about staying focused, like mentally, staying focused mentally, rather than letting your mind play tricks on you. Like Spirit's saying to sort of be like dominant over your own mind. If this makes sense. There's a lot of mental work you're doing. This is why I keep picking up meditation, because it's like you're having awareness, you're having the observation of like the inner workings of your mind and your own internal thoughts, and the way that it might be negative or talking at you and saying you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. That those kinds of thoughts, Spirit's like, be aware of that, and also like push back against that, because Spirit's wanting you to maintain your focus as well about what it is that you're wanting or desiring to manifest. Like Spirit wants you to maintain your focus on the fact that you can achieve, that you can do it, that you are capable, that you are good enough, that you are going to do this. And you have so much of this. So if those voices come in that might try to clash with that energy that you're building so much momentum of like, I can do this, then just push back. Spirit's really saying for you to be in the masculine in the next 3 months, okay? The masculine in all of us, right? The masculine is the energy of taking action and kind of pushing back against things, fighting back, you know, resisting even sometimes, or like there's something about pushing back, not just like laying down and letting your mind walk all over you, or letting people bully you or put you down or anything. Like there's something about really pushing back and being in that masculine energy of taking action and being productive and showing up, and maybe even having a little bit of a discipline. Like all of the things that I'm suggesting, by the way, are going to be feeling natural and organic. Like, you know, we all go through phases where we're just feeling like really disciplined, right? And we're just really enjoying to have a routine that we stick to every morning, like a meditation, a yoga, whatever it is. That's what I'm kind of getting for you, is like stick to some kind of a routine, because it will anchor you during this period where you might be feeling like the world is asking a lot of you. Like, this is your masculine speaking through this reading now. It's like, when the masculine inside of us feels overwhelmed, it can feel like every single thing is like on our own shoulders. Like, we are responsible for everything. We're responsible for everyone else in our life. And it can feel overwhelming, you know, that kind of thing, when there's too much responsibilities, or it can challenge the inner masculine of like, am I capable of doing this? Am I good enough at doing this? Can I handle all of this? Can I pull it off? Whoa. But I'm seeing that there's some kind of deep fears that might be triggered. Okay, you know why as well? I think it's because you're actually you're going to be feeling a lot more successful. You're going to be feeling a lot more productive. You're going to be feeling a lot more energized. You're going to be feeling a lot more confident. And that's going to make you realize that you can do this, that you can achieve something, that you are on your way to achieving something, that you can make that deadline, or that you can even just, it's like, okay, I'm feeling like, wow, this reading keeps getting deeper and deeper. I'm feeling like there's been a glass ceiling over you, you know, a glass ceiling over you where you might have been like pushing up against it, and it feels like maybe that glass ceiling is limiting beliefs. That's what it is. And it might play out differently for each one of you, but it's like you've been held back in some way by some kind of mental limiting belief. Like, I'm not capable of doing that. I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. Over the next 3 months, you're going to be taking action in such a way, you're going to be productive in such a way, you're going to be getting results in such a way that it makes you realize that limiting beliefs are actually starting to melt away. It's actually starting to not affect you anymore. You're actually starting to live outside of those limiting beliefs, outside of those limitations that you have mentally maybe placed upon you in the past. So this is huge, and I'm seeing you fighting back against it to some extent, but I'm also seeing that your success is almost triggering you. I don't know, it's really interesting. Sometimes really positive things can trigger us just as much as when we have negative things happen. So this positive energy I'm seeing is almost triggering you, because it's making you realize like, oh my gosh, I'm limitless. Like, I'm actually limitless. This is the energy. It's like, really, you've been coming up against some kind of a glass ceiling, and I'm seeing maybe you've been coming from a period of time where you might have felt like you're really pushing. You might have felt like you're really almost having to force things to take place, or force things to progress or something. You're really going to be moving into a time where it's productivity, but it's at its finest. You know, it's productivity, but it's coming from an endless spring of energy within you, where you're able to stay focused, you're able to stay motivated, to stay disciplined, and it doesn't feel like such a heavy burden to do so. So you're really going to be in your power, is what I'm feeling, like in your masculine energy and your power, and you're like, whoa, I can actually fight back against these limiting beliefs. I can actually push back against this. I can do this. Like, that's the energy. It's like, I can do this. And then you see that there's this huge path ahead of you. Like, there's something about coming into clarity, coming into your vision of your life. You're seeing your path ahead of you, and you're seeing how actually unblocked it is. You're like, wait a minute, there's no blocks in my path. I can go ahead. I can go, 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 go. And so that's where this little like, woof, this little wobble, this little tension might occur, where you're like, wait a minute, I can go for it now. Like, you might have been so used to that glass ceiling that it became like a comfort zone, right? So you're successful in the next 3 months, group number one. Yeah, number one, that's the thing. It's like, I'm feeling like this number one energy, like spirit wants you to kind of get in touch with that inner, I don't know, fighting spirit, where you want to win, you want to go for it, you want to get all the way, you know, to the top. Okay, so you're winning in some way. You're actually going to be winning in some way, or being successful in some way. And it's going to be triggering, but in the best kind of way, where you're like, it's triggering in a good way, because it's triggering in a way where like you're growing, and you're realizing that you're growing, and you're realizing that as you're growing, these limiting beliefs are forced out of you. Like, it's like they're forced out of you because they're no longer a match to your reality. They're no longer a match to the way that you're living out. These beliefs and perception, spirit showing me the perception, focus, like your perception, your focus, the way that you see is going to be changing. The way that you see your life, the way that you see the possibilities in front of you, the way that you see yourself, what you're capable of, is going to be evolving in such a way that your limiting beliefs are like fading away. And it's so refreshing because it leaves such a clarity in the mind and such a stillness in the heart space as well. There's like a still lake, you know, that's very like calm. I'm getting a lot of nature imagery with your group. So I definitely feel like nature will really help you to stay in that productive energy with your energy levels up. Your energy levels up, your energy levels up. Like nature will help you keep your energy levels up, is what Spirit's saying. So yeah, you've got a lot of focus and a lot of clarity, like in the mind, clarity about your path ahead, clarity about, wait a minute, I'm capable of so much more than I ever knew. You're going to be getting direct evidence of how you actually are capable of so much more than you ever knew, because some kind of limitation or restriction is going to be taken away and you're going to be able to move forwards. You're going to be able to progress. And you are going to be able to meet that deadline, is what I keep getting. Okay, so let's pull another card from this deck. Let's see what else Spirit wants you to know about the next 3 months. Ooh. Interesting. We have deception and wisdom, the owl. The owl. I love the owl. There was some kind of deception in your perception. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, I said. Some kind of deception in your perception of yourself. I feel like it's definitely of yourself because it's of what you're capable of. You're realizing that there was some kind of a deception, right? A deception in what you were capable of. And then it's like your whole life changes because you're like, what? It opens up where you're like, wait, what? I can do all of this? Okay, Spirit's likening this feeling to if you all of a sudden opened up your bank account and you had like several $100,000 in there and you were like, wait, what? And somehow it was like, you know, ethically given to you. I don't know how, but it just happened, right? Imagine. And then you're like, wow, I could do so much with this. I could do, what am I going to do with all of this? I could do so much. And that's what you're going to have, but in energy, in spirit, in your energy flow, you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm extremely rich. Yes. You're going to realize this. It's like somehow it was being hidden from you before. And yeah, and look at this. Back of the deck is the frog. Okay, it says cleaning house, releasing emotional baggage. The frog. Releasing emotional baggage. That is what has created this shift in your perception, where you're seeing through the deception, you're seeing through the limiting beliefs, which are ultimately deceptive, and you're realizing like, wait, my path is clear. I'm rich. Like, this is the energy I'm getting. You're like, I'm rich. Yes, I'm rich. You're rich. You're abundant. You're in touch with the infinite like wellspring of abundance that you have inside of you, that you are from your own soul's energy. And you're like, wait, I could do so much. I can do so much. I am doing so much. I'm already here. I'm already on my path. I'm already here. Like, there's a real abundance energy here. Wow. Hugely abundance energy, and a real like things that felt really burdensome to you, you're going to see it in a different way. Your perception's going to clear. Like if you have debt or something and you're like, oh, it's so burdensome, I'm so, you know, and you feel weighed down by it, it's like somehow your perception's going to clear and you're going to be like, wait a minute, I can totally get out of this. I can totally build my path out of this. I can build out of, like, there's a real confidence, there's a real certainty, a real wisdom. Yeah, wisdom on this card. It says wisdom, deception, wisdom. I'm not sure of how blurry it might be, you guys. I might have to fix some setting or something, but deception and wisdom. The deception is the limiting beliefs. The wisdom is when the deception lifts and you're like, whoa. That's when you have the wisdom. When the deception lifts, it's when the wisdom comes through and you realize like, whoa, you're going to be seeing through something. Like, okay, so the owl sees into the dark. The owl can see through the dark, and for hunting reasons, I think, but it's still an amazing ability. It's like you're going to look through the darkness. You're going to see through something that you couldn't previously see. You're going to have nighttime vision, right? You're going to see through the darkness and you're going to be like, wow, I can see a path ahead. I can see all these things. I've got all these advantages. I've got all these gifts. I've got all this abundance. I've got all of this talent. I've got all of this expansion, where it's like limitless expansion, truly a limitless expansion. Because when you are connected to spirit, which you are, when you are connected to spirit, you have a limitless expansion. You can truly, it's limitless. The amount that you can channel, the amount that you can bring through, the amount that you can co-create with spirit. So there's been some kind of emotional release work that you've been doing, that's for sure. And I feel like it's sort of, you've been up against something. This is what I'm getting. It's like you've been up against something and it felt, oof, your perception of it was that it was like so big and so harsh, and you didn't know how you were ever going to kind of overcome it maybe. But there's some huge breakthrough that you're having where it's like something that it lifts off of you, the weight of it, the heaviness of it, the burdensome of it. And that's why this energy feels very fresh the next 3 months. It's very fresh, it's very light, it's very clear, it's very, you know, the energy when you're in nature and you're completely alone and you're just one with the energy around you and you're meditating and there's this serenity. That's the energy I'm getting for you. It's like serenity, peace. And actually now I'm also getting with this card is that, like I said, as you come up, you're almost like coming face to face with your limiting beliefs and you're overcoming them. It's like you're coming face to face with the limitations in your mind and you're overcoming them. You're fighting back, you're pushing back, you're releasing it. You're releasing the emotional baggage, right? That might perpetuate these kinds of thoughts about yourself or about your life. You're releasing something about that. So there might be some kind of an emotional release in the next 3 months. You might have just been going through it though. For some of you already been through this release. I'm feeling like it's been a watery time, right? A lot of emotions happening, but I feel like regardless, you will face some kind of release. Like there's a purge that happens when you come up against these limiting beliefs and then you break through them, you defy them, you go against it, and then you become less limited by them. They have less of a hold over you. This is the magic, the alchemy that I'm seeing you like weaving with your life. It's really powerful. I think you're going to be in your power. You might have moments of vulnerability, like I said, because it's almost like I found the more that you're in touch with your power, the more that it triggers that shadow stuff to be purged. It has to, because it's no longer a match to the energy that you're embodying. Wow, this is so powerful. Yeah, I feel like you're going to be feeling really empowered. And you might also have some kind of emotions about this deception energy where you're like, oh, why did I ever, you know, like, why did I ever, it's an energy of like, why did I ever think so poorly of myself? Or why did I ever restrict what I thought that I was capable of? Like, why would I ever have thought that, you know? And it's reminding me about this podcast I heard once where this woman got really into running and she was never really into fitness or running before, but she just suddenly like, you know, got inspired and started doing trail running. And then she started to become like really good at it and was doing like really amazing long runs. And she thought to herself, she's like, why did I ever think that I couldn't do this? Like that was her energy, like of her perception of who she was before she started running and then who she was after she had started running. She's like, why did I ever think that I couldn't do this? And it was like a really deep kind of like almost spiritual lesson for her around like limiting beliefs and how they really can keep us small in life. So this is the energy you're having where you're like, you're busting through that limiting belief that's like, oh, you can't run, you can't do it. And then you're actually going to be doing it. And it's going to, as you're doing it, you're like realizing, wait, that wasn't true. That was never true. Why did I ever think that? Why did I ever limit myself or judge myself like that? So it's super beautiful. You know, there is a tenderness, like a vulnerability here, an emotional vulnerability, almost like in the sacral chakra I'm feeling, where it's like you're releasing really stored emotions, releasing emotional baggage. Exactly, you literally are. And it's really bringing a lot more tenderness in, like a lot more vulnerability with yourself and others, and a lot more love and respect for yourself and for your life and what you've been through, which is so beautiful. Wow. Wow. Well, let's pull some more cards. Which deck? This one. Okay, I think this is the Sacred Traveler or something. I don't know. I'll link them in the description box. Okay, so what else do you want Group 1 to know about the next 3 months, Spirit? Let's see. Oh. Okay, so this is the card that just fell on the floor just then. Choosing your path, all is possible. Didn't I just say this? Yes, Group 1, you're going to be realizing like, wait, all is possible. This is the path. It's like your path is super open. When before it was like maybe there was all these trees in front of it or all these blocks and you couldn't see the way and you're like, how am I going to get forward? How am I going to move forward? I can't see. And now it's like it opens up and you're like, wait, there's like a path right here. I know exactly where to go. I know exactly how to get there. I know exactly how to get to my destination. And not only get to my destination, but realizing that the destination that you had in mind is almost changing. It's almost like you're going to that destination and then some, and then some, and then some, right? It's like you were limiting yourself even in what you were dreaming about. Spirit's saying you're going to realize this. You're going to realize that there was some kind of limitation you had even in what you were dreaming about. So it's like even your dreams for your life will expand and get bigger and grander and more in touch with the true essence of your soul and the true essence of like what you are here to do and what you're capable of. It's like you really were limiting yourself almost from this sense of like, oh, I could never do that, or I'm not good enough to do this, and Spirit saying it was a deception. It was a deception in the mind. It was a deception in the perception. It really was. The perception was distorted, and you were being deceived by it. And now it's like the perception is coming into clarity of truth, and you're seeing like, wait, this path I have ahead of me, like all is possible. All is possible. All is possible. Yeah, so your path is really opening up for you. Like I'm seeing you're getting to some kind of destination that you've been wanting to get to, but you thought that was like the only thing you were wanting, or you thought that was the final destination, or you thought that would be it. And Spirit's like, you're about to get your mind expanded and you're realizing like, wait, this goes way deeper than I thought. I'm way more talented than I thought. It's like you could be uncovering multiple new talents as well. Like you might have not even realized, but you're like, wait, if I'm like I said with the running thing, something you thought you would never be able to do, like I could never be a runner, I could never be a singer, I could never be a writer, I could never be a public speaker, I could never limitation. Spirit saying it's like it's opening up, and you're like, wait, what? I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. And it's like, wow, there's such a beautiful expansive energy. And ultimately there is a path that's right for you. Even though all is possible, all is available to you, there is one path that will bring you the ultimate fulfillment. There is one path that will bring you the ultimate alignment with who you are and what you've come here to do. And that's part of the focus, the clarity that you're gaining, is like you're really aware, like I know what path that I'm on, I know why I'm on this path, I know where it's going to some extent, but you're also leaving space for the magic, for the reality that, you know, your perception is in ongoing change. Your perception is always changing, it's always evolving. I want to say it's always expanding to hold more. And so you're realizing, like, as you're on your path and as you're having clarity about what you've come here to do, you're also realizing like you have to leave some space for spirit. You have to leave some space for the things that you might not know, the mystery of things, the things you might not have even yet discovered about yourself. So Spirit's also saying, if you have a dream like really deep in your heart, you know, this comes up a lot, this message, but sometimes we have to hear things multiple times so that we really, let it in. But Spirit's saying, if you have a dream, like, especially if it's been something you might have had since you're a child, or something that it's something very delicate, like I want to say vulnerable, like a vulnerable dream, but you feel like it's not possible. Like you're like, oh, but I don't know. I don't think so. And there's like some kind of like energy of like embarrassment, or you hold back a bit about it. It might be something you don't want to tell people because you don't want to be made fun of, or something just to you that might be like personal to you, like, oh, I have the dream to meet the love of my life, but I don't know, that's not going to happen. Like it's something like this where you feel like it's not going to happen, or you wonder if it's not going to happen, because I think actually a lot of the time you do think that it's going to happen, but then you go back into thinking it's not going to happen. Some kind of a dream. Spirit wants you to know that it's possible. Spirit wants you to know that the reason that you have it in your desire heart of yours, the reason that you desire it from your heart is for a reason, like is because it's meant to happen. It's because you're meant to realize this dream. But there might be some kind of key ingredient or key skill or something that you haven't yet like awakened yet. Spirit wants you to know this because Spirit wants you to realize that it's possible still, even if you don't have that skill. Like for example, I don't know, like music, like I've always wanted to play music, but I can't do it. I've never learned. I don't know. It's embarrassing. And it's like, no, Spirit's like, that is in you for a reason, because you have that ability in you. It's just that you're peeling back those layers of those limiting beliefs and that limitation of your perception to realize that you actually can do it, that you actually can. You know, I've met so many people. I don't know if it's so many people. I think that's an exaggeration. I've met a handful of people who have channeled music. They haven't actually studied it or learned it themselves. They've just sort of self-taught themselves how to do it through their connection to spirit. And they were very tapped in people for sure, and very talented. And this is what I'm saying is There's so much more within us that we realize. There's so much actually there that we can get in touch with, that we are going to get in touch with. That's what Spirit wants you to know, that you have that already. Like, you have that ability. And if you have a desire, that's even more of an intuitive message that this ability wants to come through you. If you have a desire, like I said, to play music, be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, I've never done it before. Spirit's like, no, that's because you have it in you, and that you can channel it and you can do it through your own way that's so exquisitely divine. And it comes through the divine. So Spirit doesn't want you to like limit yourself based on the physical or the 3D or the facts or the logic or whatever of reality, because there's something deeper here. And I think that's what you're really in touch with over the next 3 months. You're going to get your mind blown by your perception changing, your perception of things changing, where you're like, wait, what? I'm capable of this, this, and this? I had no idea. And so it's going to give you more confidence in your mind to challenge yourself on other limiting beliefs you have, where you're like, wait, if I can, like the woman said, she can run now. So what else has she been holding herself back again? What else has she been saying that she can't do when she actually could? That's the kind of perception shift you're going to have. You're going to be like, wait, what? It's going to feel like so good, group one. You're going to be feeling really, really good about it. Seriously, it's a beautiful 3 months of realizing that all is possible, letting go of limiting beliefs, and truly expanding in your vision of what is not only possible, but actually what is happening. It's not just what's possible. It's like, wait, but this is actually happening. This is actually, I'm on the path to all of this manifesting, You're going to realize that it's so within reach. That's the word I want to say. All right, let's do one card to finish. Just some advice for the next 3 months, Spirit. What's your advice for group one for the next 3 months? In the flow, everything is smooth sailing. Okay. Well, advice is more like reassurance. I'm feeling that you're going to be in flow state these next 3 months. You're going to be able to focus. You're going to be able to reach a deadline. There's going to be balance. Like, there's something you might be fearing is going to be out of balance, and you're like, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to get it done. I'm not going to be able to commit, or I don't know, something like that. And you are going to be. Everything is smooth sailing. Everything is in the balance of things, I want to say, in the flow. It's all getting done in divine timing. Like I'm seeing you might have a really big to-do list over the next 3 months, for example. This is the energy example, right? Apply it to your own situation. But imagine you have a really big to-do list over the next 3 months and you're like, oh gosh, how am I going to get it done? How am I going to get it done? How am I going to get it done? And Spirit's saying, like, you're going to tick off each thing on your to-do list, like in the divine timing and in the divine order. And it's all kind of going to come together like this sacred geometry. It's all in the flow. So Spirit's saying, like, trust the path and stay focused on what you feel like working on at that time. Like, if you fit whatever you feel that inspiration to, and you're going to get into flow state about, work on that and just follow that, follow the spirit, follow the divine, because the divine is seriously changing your perception. The divine is seriously shifting your focus, shifting your reality even, I want to say, because our perception determines our reality. So it's like, yeah, your reality is shifting where you're realizing, like, wait, all is possible. And there is some kind of an emotional clearing that happens due to this, because you're releasing the pain of having these deceptive beliefs. You're releasing the pain of having these limiting beliefs in the first place. But you're restoring your wisdom. You're restoring your wisdom and your integrity as a soul. And like, what you've really come here to do is, like, you're more in touch than ever with your destiny, with your divine destiny, and with how big it is. With how big it is, group one. It's not some little, tiny little, this little thing. No, it's huge. You got a big destiny. And yeah, you're going to be in touch with it in a really fulfilling way. All right, group one, well, good luck over the next 3 months. I think you're going to enjoy yourself, and I send you so much love for your path. Okay, group number 2, you chose this deck, which you can't see at all. There it is. So this is the Moonology deck. I will link it in the description. Okay, so for the rest of the year / the next 3 months for group 2 Spirit, what is going on? The next 3 months. The next 3 months, Spirit. Ooh, make time for self-love. Where are we? Make time for self-love. Make time for self-love. Last quarter moon in Libra. Make time for self-love. Okay, well, I feel really relaxed when I tune into your energy. This is giving me like the energy of lavender, the essential oil. You know how it's like, oh, it's so relaxing. I love it. I love lavender. It's giving me a really relaxing energy. I feel like for the rest of the year, you're going to be in a more relaxed energy and able to relax. Able to relax. I keep hearing that. So maybe something was feeling like it was preventing you from relaxing. So you're going to be able to relax and like take a deep breath out, you know? It's like, oh, release that tension. It's like you're going to be a lot more relieved. I'm feeling relief. So I'm feeling like something positive must be coming in for you so that you feel relieved. It's relief. It's like, oh, you know, if you like get into a nice healing bath, like the lavender essential oils, and you're just like, ah, relaxed. You're able to let go of something. And I keep wanting to close my eyes as well. Like it's a really dreamy energy. You might be needing to get more sleep. You might be, I'm seeing you're able to rest more. You're able to, yeah, like just love on yourself more, like taking baths, doing journaling, doing walking, doing yoga, doing meditation, doing all of whatever it is that you do for self-care that makes you feel like regulated and good. And I'm seeing, yeah, something's been a little bit out of balance recently with the Libra energy. Is about balance. Something's been a bit out of balance lately that might have been causing you to not be able to give yourself enough self-care. Okay, so I just dropped our card, but when I dropped it, I realized that the back of the deck is Aries, which is the opposite energy of Libra. You guys, the sun, I didn't realize it was going to do this. Cool your emotions, full moon in Aries. And then Libra is last quarter moon. Something has been preventing you from being able to relax because there's been some kind of emotional intensity. Like maybe you're going through something stressful, or someone you love has been, or something like that. And maybe you've been having to, it's like something about like crisis mode or survival mode, and it's been full on. And so obviously if you're in like survival mode, or you're going through something really intense, or you've had a really shocking thing happen, or someone you love has had something happen, like obviously naturally you don't often have as much time for the self-love, right? For the self-care, for those practices that really build us back up, regenerate the energy. And that's the energy that I'm getting, is like you've had intensity. I'm feeling intensity with that Aries energy. There's been intensity. You've been going through intensity. And the next 3 months, Spirit's saying, is going to be like a lavender, like rejuvenating, calming, soothing energy for your nervous system, for your body, for your soul. Because I'm also feeling like you're tired. I'm feeling like you're tired. You need rest. You need rejuvenation of some kind. And almost like you need to be poured back into, because I'm feeling like life has been asking of you a lot, and you've had to be kind of like giving a lot to life. But now there's going to be a natural rebalancing where you're going to be able to give more back to yourself, and maybe even having more alone time, or having more time to spend with people that you love, if that's not been available. Like you've been working a lot, you really want to just recharge with your family or your loved ones or your friends or whatever. But for some of you, it could be that you need to retreat a little bit more into that hermit energy. For some of you, but Libra is definitely like, Libra likes to share. But for some of you guys, it might be that getting back into balance is taking more time by yourself or for yourself, to do these practices, to do these. It feels like it's saying literally make time for self-love. Over the next 3 months, you will feel very inspired to care for yourself. You're going to feel really inspired in the flow of caring for yourself, or maybe getting back into something you somehow lost touch with, like a yoga practice or a meditation practice, or maybe even getting back in touch with somebody that you might have lost contact with, or something like that. Or yeah, I'm seeing that actually spending time with loved ones will regenerate you during this period, as long as you're taking enough time for yourself as well, because that seems to be Spirit's sort of saying that Spirit is giving you the time. Spirit's going to give you some kind of opportunity, some kind of time, some kind of resource that you need, so that you can actually give yourself more self-love, so that you can actually pour into yourself again, so that you can regenerate and rejuvenate yourself. But I'm also getting Spirit saying that you still have to be the one to take the actions, right? I'm feeling like you're really burnt out maybe, and you've been giving a lot, and it's almost like you want someone else to like come take care of you, which is so fair enough. But Spirit's also saying like you can do those actions for yourself, and it will feel really rejuvenating, and it will feel really good. So yeah, you're going to be given the time, because it says on this card, it says make time for self-love. So it's like Spirit's going to give you the time that you need to give to yourself. Spirit's going to give you the time that you need to honor yourself and to basically bring things back into balance. Libra is the scales of balance, and for whatever reason things have become a little bit out of balance, you've been overworking or not pouring back into self for whatever reason. There's so many reasons, right? But I'm feeling like a lot of stress, maybe intensity, and it's just a lot of cooling down. Yeah, look, back of the deck was cool your emotions. Exactly. This is a time of cooling, like cooling down after an emotional intensity or a really full-on time where you just get to kind of just come back into balance through breathing out, through letting go, through chilling, relaxing, really, ultimately. Spirit's asking you to relax. What a nice message. Spirit's asking you to relax. Don't work yourself too hard, okay? Don't do too many social engagements if they're tiring for you. Obviously, if you're an extrovert, then you might need that to replenish yourself. But really, as much as you can, prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself, your own well-being. And Spirit's almost giving you permission to be selfish for the next 3 months. If you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel bad, I need to hang out with this person, or whatever it might be, I need to do this thing, I'm obligated to. Spirit's like, you know what? What about your obligations to yourself? What about your obligations to your own well-being? That's what Spirit wants you to reflect upon for the next 3 months, because you're in a time where you need to come into balance, okay? You need to come back into balance. I'm also getting something about communication with someone. So you might actually have someone communicating, you might get back into touch with somebody, or you might have some kind of communication that gives you a feeling of relief or release. Like there's some kind of relief. It's like, thank God. And it's like, I'm seeing you closing your eyes. It's like you get the communication and you just let go. You're like, thank God. Okay, I can let go now. I can just be at peace now. Like there's something about, maybe it's a resolution to a problem or something, but it's going to give you more free time. And it's going to give you a sense of peacefulness. Like I keep seeing closing your eyes. Like you're going to be able to sleep more. You're going to be able to rest more. You're going to be able to do a lot more in the dream world. There is some kind of ending it's like marking a new phase or a new era. And again, things need to come back into balance. Spirit keeps showing me things need to come back into balance. Especially because we've got the Libra and Aries axis. You know, this is very, Aries is self and Libra is other. So this is really about your relationship with yourself and with others. Like Spirit saying something about that's getting back into balance. Like maybe you've been giving, maybe necessarily you've had to give a lot lately. Well, now it's time to receive a lot, right? There's something about that the balance of things, and it's only for the next 3 months. Like you might go, it might not be for very long. Like often when we have these periods of regeneration and rest, you know, they're not forever. It's not going to last forever. And I'm feeling like almost, you might feel a bit scared to like let go or rest, because you're like, if I rest, I'm never going to get up again. If I sit down, I won't get back up. But Spirit's saying you will actually be able to regenerate. There's something about this self-love that you're giving to yourself, this medicine that you're giving to yourself, this self-care that you're giving to yourself, this attention that you're giving to yourself over the next 3 months. It will regenerate you. It will regenerate you. You will end up with your cup full again, able to give again, and able to, whatever it is, go full steam ahead or whatever, because I'm feeling like some of you guys, especially who have like type A personalities where you just want to go 100% of the year. Spirit's just reminding you cycles. There are cycles of things, right? So some of you might be more, yes, I'm so ready to rest. And some of you might be fighting Spirit a little bit and being like, I don't want to rest, Spirit. Look at all the things I have to do. But Spirit's like, well, if you rest, you're actually going to be more productive. And you might be productive during that time of rest if you have to be, if you have to keep working or whatever it is. But spending more time doing that inner work, doing that self-care, doing those rejuvenating practices, like I said, baths, journals, walks, yoga, meditation, reaching out to people, socializing, whatever it is that rejuvenates you, doing more of that will keep you at your best, will keep you producing, I guess, in the way that you need to. But for others of you, I'm feeling like it's going to be a total rest, a complete rest. Like Spirit will give you the resources where maybe you don't have to work or not have to work as much, or you were doing a job, like I'm sensing almost an energy of like you were doing a job like caring for somebody, maybe a family member, and then someone else can step in and take over for a while, right? So you're getting rest, you're getting relief, like respite from a role that's quite taxing. A lot of caring, a lot of looking after other people is the energy I'm getting. So Spirit's just saying to trust as the energies come back into balance, to trust the natural cycles of things in this universe, to trust the pendulum swing. When the pendulum swings in one direction, it will swing back, and you have to let it so that things can come back into that centerpiece of balance. You swung to one direction of giving, giving, giving. Now you're needing to swing to the other of receiving, receiving, receiving. You'll go back into that balance point. It's not going to be you're over here forever resting. Resting, rejuvenating, because the whole point of rest is that you do rejuvenate, you are able to come back, come back online, come back to life, come back into the world, come out of hermit mode, whatever it is. Okay, so let's pull some more cards, because what else is going on for you in the next 3 months? I'm going to change decks, actually. All the decks I'll link below in the description. So yeah, like what else is going on apart from making time for self-love for group 2 Spirit? Ooh, elemental wisdom. Where can we see it? The shadows. Okay, so elemental wisdom. Wow. Okay, so your group, it feels like you're really focused. Spirit wants you to focus on your inner world more. Okay, which is like the exact opposite of group 1, by the way. Spirit wants you to focus on your inner world. Spirit wants you to focus on your connection to spirit, which is what I get from this card. Your connection to actually also the elements around you. But I mean, there's elements in everything. Like when you take a shower, you're working with the spirits of water. But I'm getting something about you might want to actually work with the elements as well, because this feels like the next 3 months for you is a very magical time with this card. This is a card of magic, you guys. It's a very magical time. It's a time where Spirit wants you to pour into yourself. Spirit wants you to look inward. Spirit wants you to do the inner work, whatever that might be, whatever might be asking of you. Like, what do you feel inspired to do? Do you feel inspired to go into the woods and forage for flowers and make a beautiful flower mandala and use it as a prayer and a spell or something like this? Do you feel inspired to journal a lot? Do you feel inspired to go catch up with all the friends you haven't been able to see? Like, whatever it is. There's some kind of wisdom in this because it's bringing you back into balance. Yes, elemental wisdom is about balance as well, because the balance of all of the elements. And when I do energy work as well, like energy healing work, I notice the different elements of the body. There might be too much fire, there might be too much water, there might be too much air, too much earth, or not enough, or it might be imbalance or whatever. And then there's also the 5th element of spirit, right? Of magic, of the divine, when it all comes together. So Spirit's saying you might want to work with the elements. You might want to work with more like Celtic pagan kind of traditions of working with the cycles, the calendar of the year, the different cycles. Like, for example, we've just had Beltane here in the southern hemisphere, but you up in the northern hemisphere had was it Lunasa, or was it, you had Halloween. I forgot what the actual name of it is. So we have these different cycles. Beltane is like the height of spring, and it's like, it's such a nice energy. Whereas the Halloween energy is about the end, like really preparing for the winter, preparing for the death, the darkness, when things sort of die out. So it's very different. So Spirit's just saying there's different cycles basically, and Spirit wants you to tune in with the cycles of things on this earth, the cycles of the elements, the cycles of the seasons, the cycles of the fertility and infertility. All of these different things have cycles. They have phases to them. There's time for growth, and then there's time for not growing. So I'm feeling, again, there might be some kind of an energy where you might want to push against the natural cycle that's here right now. You might want to push against it. You might want to be like, I don't want to have to rest. I want to be able to go out there and be productive, right? But Spirit's saying there's a natural cycle of this, and if you honor the cycle, then you'll be naturally carried back out of it again, right? Once you've rested, you'll be going into the springtime, right? Because rest feels very winter-like to me, and once you come out of the winter, it's such a different energy. So your energy will return. Like Spirit's saying, there's a wisdom, elemental wisdom. There's a wisdom to the cycles. You must honor the cycles because there's a wisdom, a greater wisdom to them. But there's also some kind of magic energy here, like the divine feminine. I'm getting the divine feminine, like seeing through Spirit wants you to focus on the divine feminine, which is about things like magic and also seeing through like the veil, seeing through things that, like looking into the spirit world. That's what Spirit wants you to do. Spirit wants you to look into the spirit world. Spirit wants you to have fun with magic, with rituals, with doing, you know, like altars, creating altars for the season, for the harvest, for the whatever it is. Something about working more with the cycles and working more with your inner world, like what you feel, what makes you feel magical, what makes you feel in touch with spirit. Is it being in nature? Is it doing rituals or doing altars or creating mandalas or doing artwork or whatever? Because do that. Spirit's saying do that, and it will bring you abundance. It will bring you what it is that you are asking for. It will bring you replenishment to your soul. It will bring you replenishment to your soul. And especially something about honoring the natural seasons of your life. Like if you are being called to rest, then you are being called to rest. And there's no real point in pushing against that and trying to kind of, you know, be in that opposite energy. Spirit's saying work with the energy of what's there, work with the energy of what is. And you have so much help from the elements as well. So much help from the water, from the earth, from the fire, from the air, and from spirit as well. So you're bringing back into balance the energies in your body. Like you might have had too much fire, you need more water, you know, or you might have had too much air, you need more earth, whatever it is. Something about these, like the opposites coming into balance, and Spirit wants you to just to trust in that process, and to also trust in how you're guided to deliver that medicine to yourself. Because the self-love, the self-care that we were talking about, that's going to come through you in a certain way. That's going to come through as divine inspiration to do certain things, to go for that walk in nature, to decorate the altar, to whatever it is, reach out to that friend. That's what's going to bring you back into balance. That's what's going to bring you that nourishment that you need. But I also am getting a strong magical energy, like it's a beautiful time to set intentions. It's a beautiful time to look inwards and realize the fertility that you have inside of you. Like there's something about fertility coming through in this reading as well. Something about fertility, like allowing this time. It's almost like a gestation time, right? When the seed is under the ground and it hasn't quite poked its head up. It's under the ground, it's in the darkness. But there's so much like alchemy going on in that seed before it's able to come up to life and sprout to life. And Spirit wants you to acknowledge that that's sort of this phase that you're in. You're in this underground, this under earth, but you're alchemizing, you're germinating. There's something within you that's really coming to life, and it's like, whoa, it's really going to come to life. But I'm seeing to bring more magic into your everyday. Like you might want to look up the witch's calendar. I know a lot of you guys would already follow it, but the witch's calendar comes from, I think, Celtic pagan kind of traditions, and you can look at it for the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, and they're a little bit different in their dates, but they follow the seasons and the harvest and things like that. And I'm just getting something about Spirit wants you to tune in with that, to tune in with the witch's calendar, with the different times of the year, the different times of the year that have different power points or different they guide us, right? The seasons guide us. The springtime is the time for coming out, whereas the winter time is the time for going inwards, or the autumn is the time for going inwards. Yes, and there's something about that, like the autumn and the winter, right? We go inwards, we let go more, and that's sort of what the energy I'm getting for you of the next 3 months is. Like Spirit kind of wants you to be more in that winter energy of like inwards, going inwards, looking inwards, and to not expect yourself to be in the summer and the spring if you're not there right now. And this is nothing about the actual seasons you have around you, although it might align if you're going into winter, right? But yeah, so Spirit's saying, just honor that, honor what it is that you're being called to do, which is to go inwards, to rest, to make time for self-love, to make time for magic, to make time for rituals, habits, daily routine, all of these things, to focus on that, to focus on your daily routine. I'm getting that really strongly. And to focus on bringing back into balance what might have been out of balance, which again, you're going to do naturally through your choices, through the way that you feel guided to show up for yourself with self-love. And I'm feeling this elemental wisdom card as well is about Spirit's asking you to see the beauty in the cycle that you're in right now, to see the beauty in it, you know? Because there is such a beauty in autumn, right? With all the leaves changing color and how it's sort of a time of letting go and turning inwards and preparing for the winter and stuff. But if all of the time in autumn you were like, I wish it was spring, I wish it was spring, I wish it was spring, there's no flowers, it's all going, and it's like the way that you look at it, right, changes your experience of it. So Spirit's saying something about honoring the cycle that you're in and seeing the beauty that's inherent there, because it won't be here forever. It will go, just like every other cycle, right? The cycle or the season that you're in right now, it's temporary. So you can honor the beauty of what it is and what it's showing you and the wisdom and the medicine that it's feeding to you. So Spirit's saying like lean into it, lean into this cycle, lean into this wisdom, lean into this time of rest, rejuvenation, of magic, of looking inwards, of doing a lot of, I want to say like magic, like spells, doing spells through setting your intention, through journaling, through communing with Spirit. You know, there's so much in that. And Spirit's saying like it's so easy to not take it for granted, or to not value that period, to not see the value in it, right? Because other people can't see what you've got going on, or it's all private, or right, you haven't got anything to show for it. There's no productivity to be had. But Spirit's saying there's so much in there. There's so much work that's actually done in that phase. And that's the wisdom of the feminine, is that there's so much work that's done in the unseen. There's so much work that's done in the inner world, in the thoughts, in the privacy of our own being, right? And that's the stuff, that's the alchemy work. And Spirit's saying like never underestimate that, and never underestimate the power of that work. And the power that you have actually, and the way that you engage with that work is really beautiful. Spirit's saying the way that you engage with that is really special. So there's something about your magic, you know, your communion with Spirit, your connection to Spirit over the next 3 months will also be deepening. I'm seeing it deepening, and I'm seeing there might be some level of ritual involved where you might want to, like I said, create altars, look up the witch's calendar of the year, or you know, the ancient pagan traditions of honoring the cycles, honoring the seasons, honoring the earth and nature spirits of the earth, the elemental spirits of the earth, connecting with the fairies. All of this is on the cards for you in the next 3 months. Really strong connection to the fairies, the elements, the spirits of the elements. And you might want to work with one in particular, like tuning in through meditation. Which spirit do I need more of right now? Is it water, earth, fire, air, or spirit, magic? Which one do you need more of, you know? And focusing, really working with that energy, working with that wisdom, with that medicine as it's offered to us through the elements on this earth. And I'm seeing it's like even changing your body. It's changing, it's rebalancing the energies in your body, in your energy body, just as much. Like all of your choices are going to be perfect. You're going to be guided. You don't have to worry about like, how do I come back into balance? How exactly do I do it? Spirit's like, just let yourself be guided. What do you feel like doing today? Do you feel like having a bath? Do you feel like taking a walk? Do you feel like socializing? Do you feel like journaling? Do you feel like channeling? Whatever it is, do that. And I'm seeing something about free time. You're going to have a bit more free time to actually listen to those guidance calls within you that are telling you, hey, I need this, or I want to do that, you know, rather than being so frantically busy that you can't make that time for self-love. So make time for self-love. Group number 2, make time for self-love. And there is some amazing magic that you are going to be, like, it's almost like coming out of this period of rest. Like I keep closing my eyes for your group, because there's something about closing the eyes. Spirit's saying like, don't try to keep the eyes open when they're meant to be closed. Sometimes we need to have a rest. Sometimes we need to shut down. Sometimes we need to go inwards. When you let that happen, that's when the actual wisdom and the magic can really come through. And your cycle will change, and you'll move from the winter into the spring, and it will be a time to show the work that you've done on the inside of yourself, you know? Okay, well, that was a really beautiful reading. So enjoy the next 3 months, group 2, and I'm sending you so much love on your path. Bye. Okay, so group 3 chose the astrology deck. So let's see what is going on for you in the next 3 months. Next 3 months, Spirit, for group 3. Ooh, we have Vesta, Hearth, number 32. So Vesta always makes me think of home, like homes. So, and I think she might have some relation to that, but I can't remember. I've read a book on the asteroid goddesses, but it was a while ago now. But anyway, so Vesta, I love this energy. So it's an asteroid goddess. So it's an energy of a goddess coming through for you for the next few months. I feel like there's some kind of easefulness. I feel like easefulness is what's going to predominate the next 3 months, like a period of ease or flow, or things manifesting for you, things happening for you, like maybe even like abundance, that's the word. Abundance, because I'm like, it's manifesting, but it's in every area of your life, and that's the true abundance frequency. Is it brings miracles, it brings blessings into every single area of your life, and it's sort of like abundance in one area flows over into other areas of your life. So that's sort of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of growth, I'm seeing a lot of health, I'm seeing a lot of heart, because we got hearth. And I'm also seeing maybe a move, like you might be moving home, or you might be traveling temporarily as well with the home energy, or maybe doing some redecorating, or I don't know, feeling really, I think you're moving into a much nicer energy over the next 3 months to do with your home life, to do with your environment, to do with your home life. So some kind of a situation to do with your home is improving in some way. Now I'm feeling really drawn to like the rainbow colors on this card, and I'm feeling like a lot of the divine, like I'm feeling the divine energy with you, and I'm feeling the goddess energy, like it's almost like helping you to manifest something with ease, helping you to manifest life with ease. Yeah, there's a real helpfulness from the universe over the next 3 months for you, a real helpfulness. You're going to feel helped, you're going to feel assisted, you're going to feel like things are manifesting easily rather than really, really hard, rather than... Okay, let's get another card about this, because I'm curious, Spirit, what is it over the next 3 months that you want them to know? Wow, Saturn and structure. So Saturn brings restrictions, but the main energy I'm getting is something ease, something full of ease. And also goddess energy is very abundant. Like, oh, that's right, Vesta restores. Vesta holds the eternal flame and like restores people's energy. Like, I think she was the goddess that would like restore men after they went into battle or something. And I can't remember, but basically I'm feeling this energy of like the divine is restoring things for you in some way. Something has been heavily restricted. Something has been heavily restricted in your life. And it's been challenging. It's been, I feel like it's been challenging you to the deepest part of your being even. This is heavy. Saturn's always heavy, man. Look, Saturn brings really, really good things as well, but usually there's a lot of challenge as well. Saturn teaches us through restriction, right? Through holding things back, through not allowing us to pass until we have grown, or until we've evolved, or until we've learned some lesson or matured in some way. So it's ultimately for our highest good. But it really, when Saturn is giving us teachings, it can feel like, it can feel like you're almost like being kind of, like punished by the universe. Like you can feel like, why is this thing so impossible to overcome? Why, no matter how much effort I put in, it seems like nothing's budging. That's Saturn's energy. But you got this one. So it's like things are moving, things are changing. You're finally, I feel like, going to start to see the results of your actions, rather than feeling like you're working, but you're not really getting anything back for it. That's the energy of Saturn. Not forever, but for a while. Saturn, it will feel when you're working with Saturn like you're not getting any results, but you will. And you will in the long term, and it will be because Saturn sorted you out so that you could be successful and maintain that success. You know, like there's often when people become like really successful or really famous when they're really young, there can often be like sort of a full arc they can go through where maybe things like they kind of come down again, or because they're kind of learning lessons on the world stage, on the world arena. That's kind of what I'm being shown. But Spirit's saying like Saturn has been teaching you in private. Saturn has been like working with you and your lessons in private. And so people actually are only going to see the success story that you are. They're not going to see all of the blood, sweat and tears that was behind this success story. So that's interesting. But what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing some kind of light, because the fire energy here is really strong. There's some kind of light where it's like you're coming into the light. And I'm getting with this energy with Saturn here, it could be slow still. It could be a slow moving energy still. But there's I'm feeling a sense of victory and redemption even from you, because you're finally seeing the results of your actions. So you're like, oh yes, I am on the right path. Or you feel certain that you're definitely going to be getting there. Or you feel certain that you're definitely getting results finally. Like it makes you feel sane. It makes you feel sane where you're like, oh, okay, I'm not just like making this up in my head. I'm actually getting somewhere with this, or I'm actually moving forwards with this. So you're getting some kind of light, some kind of like light in the dark, some kind of fire lighting your way, warming you up. It's going to feel like light fire in the darkness. It's going to feel really relieving, like, oh my gosh, there's finally light, you know? Like you've been trying to make a fire, you know, when you rub the two sticks together to make the fire, it's like you've been trying for so long and it's like nothing's happening, and then finally you get the sparks that tell you, oh, I'm on the right track, I'm on the right track. And then you keep going and you finally get the fire and it starts to build, and then you build that fire and you work on that fire. That's the kind of energy I'm getting, where it's like you've been in the phase where you've been working on something without getting any maybe rewards, like you haven't noticed that it's been working yet. And then finally it's like, oh my God, the first glimpse of it's working. And it feels so magical and it feels so exciting. And you're like, oh yes. And it gives you that energy you need to just keep going, to keep digging. Because Saturn asks us to dig deep in life, to keep digging deep. In fact, over a marathon of time, we have to dig deep with Saturn. And then we get the reward that's our own creation. We get the reward that's us being able to be the best version of ourselves. And there's something here for you in this message around part of this work that you've been doing with Saturn is so that your energy can be stable. For some of you might also be going through a Saturn return. You can look that up online. Like you can Google it, how to like Saturn return calculator, I think. But anyway, so that your energy can be stable when you are successful, that you have the maturity to sustain it. You have the maturity, you have the wealth of knowledge, you have the wealth of life experience to sustain it. And Spirit's saying like, don't feel like, oh, I wish I was more successful earlier in life or something like this, because Spirit's saying if you were, then you wouldn't have had the maturity yet to sustain it. Like you would have had to go through cycles of having it come and go, Spirit's saying. But it's like instead, this time, like you're getting the success, but it's not going to come and go. It's actually very stable. You have the maturity. Saturn has made sure that you have the maturity for when you receive it. It's stable, and it won't be able to be taken away, and it won't be able to be rocked, and you can handle the responsibility of the role, or you can handle the responsibility of the limelight. For some of you, this is you stepping out into the light and being seen by the world, being seen in your profession, being seen on the world stage in some way, having your voice heard as well. I'm seeing throat chakra, having your voice heard, putting your ideas out there, putting your work out there. So with the Saturn energy, this could be something that's still a work in progress. I know I'm talking about the next 3 months, but Saturn's never talking about 3 months, you guys. Saturn's talking about at least a couple of years, okay? So it's either something you've been working on, like there's something that it feels like long term. It feels like something you've been working on long term, or a project that would take a long time, like a several year project. Interesting. There's something about your work. It's a slow burn, Spirit saying, like it might not have all come together straight away. Something to do with your work or your role. It might even be revealed to you slowly in chunks, like your role here on this earth, your destiny role on this earth. But there's something about the next 3 months where you're feeling more in your responsibility. You'll feel like, because Saturn's powerful. When you're aligned with Saturn, you can feel so powerful. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. I've paid all my bills, all my taxes are in alignment, and like now I just get to have fun. Now I just get to enjoy life. Like there's something about you're aligning with Saturn's rules for operation. You're aligning with like the rules of operation so that you can kind of let go more and have fun more. Yeah, because the structure also brings freedom. There's freedom when we follow those structures. There's freedom when we let ourselves have structure. The best way that I love to think about Saturn is that Saturn is the energy of like, Saturn rules over Capricorn. And in medical astrology, Capricorn is our skeletal structure. It's our bones in the body. And if you think about it, bones in the body, they give us our structure, right? They give us that frame that we need to exist. Because if we didn't have bones, we'd just be all like jelly-like. So Spirit's saying that there's this energy that you have been cultivating, which is about structure, it's about responsibility, it's about maturity, emotional maturity, and being able to handle things that are bigger than yourself. Even maybe like for some of you, it's about parenting as well. Saturn can really talk about parenting too. It's like that bigger role that you have to step into, that you're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm responsible, I'm ready to do this. So there's something about the next 3 months where you're feeling more in your power because you're aligning more with some kind of structure, or you're leaning into a structure. It could be leaning into a routine. Spirit's saying that for a lot of you, that would really help. Having a really set and strong, structured routine will give you that sense of being held by the universe. Like, there's something about, again, the structure. Like, we need the skeletal system in the body, right? We need it, right? We need it. We need it to be strong. We want our bones to be strong. We don't want them to be brittle or break or anything like that. So there's something about, like, maybe you having some kind of structure in your life that keeps you strong, that keeps you not able to break. Yeah, this is really interesting. For some of you, it could be your responsibility as a parent helps you to be the best version of yourself. It helps you to, like, maintain that because you have that responsibility that is unwavering, right? Parenting, it's like you can't get out of it. Like, there's no way of not being a parent anymore, right? So it's with you forever. That's very Saturn energy. So what else are you wanting to say? Because I feel like I'm still kind of like peeling off the layers of this message, right? What else do you want to say, Spirit, about their next 3 months to do with Saturn and others? Shine. Didn't I say some of you guys are stepping into the spotlight? Oh, wow, when I said that. Stepping into the spotlight. Some of you might already be in the spotlight, but you're getting more responsibility, okay? That is a gift from the universe. It's not going to be a weight on your shoulders. It's going to be a positive kind of responsibility where it's like you have more clients, or you want to be a parent and you have a child, right? It's the kind of responsibility that you are desiring, that you are wanting, that's going to expand you at a soul level. So the next 3 months, you're either being prepared for this responsibility, or it's literally going to be coming into your life for some of you. But because Saturn's here, I'm saying, I have to say, I feel like things are slow. I feel like this group, there might be, there's cycles and things of karmic cycles that might feel slow, okay? Because Saturn can make things feel slow, right? We talked about this. It feels restrictive, it feels slow, it feels like it's forever. But I'm seeing at least within 2 years, you're going to have a huge difference. And close, it's going to be less than 2 years, you guys. I know I'm talking about the next 2 years in a 3 month ahead reading, but this is just what Saturn does to me. But anyway, you're going to have a lot more change within those 2 years, but it's like within 2 years, there's going to be some huge change, or within a year, or within 9 months, right? For some of you, it's huge. It's like a life-altering change, and Saturn has prepared you for it so that when it comes in, you're like, I'm all good, guys. I'm all good. You're not like drowning under it, right? You're like, I'm good. I'm actually able to handle this. I'm actually able to handle this. So there's something about exactly the confidence. Like, you wouldn't have had the confidence to take on this kind of public role in the past, or to be a parent, right? Because there's something about the responsibility side of it. It's like, it takes confidence. It takes wanting that from the heart. It takes wanting to be a leader, or wanting to put yourself out there, or wanting to share your artwork in some way. And maybe there's been some kind of a process with it that's felt hard. As you're working on this project, even, you might have contemplated, like, do I really want to put myself out there? Am I really ready to be seen? Everyone's going to see me. Like, if you're releasing an album or something you've been working on. Wow. So it's really coming from the depths of you. It's coming from the depths of, like, your own being. Hold on, I gotta put the blind down. Okay, I know the lighting is really different, but I was getting, like, cooked alive by that sun. So what was I saying? Within the next 3 months, you're going to get the spark. You're going to get the spark of something new, of being like, oh my gosh, my life is changing, or I'm getting results, or I'm leveling up in this way that I really want to, right? Or I'm really realizing that I'm confident enough to take on this dream that I've had, to take on this role that I've always wanted, or to put myself out there in this new way. But what I'm seeing is that the heights of your success is going to be building over a longer period of time. Like, within the 3 months from now, I feel like you're getting the sparks, right? But it's like where this fire is going is going to be huge. It's going to be like a huge bonfire, right? So it's going to take more time. You're going to have to, like, put more things onto the fire to keep it burning, to keep it going. And that was the original card you got, is this fire. And it's almost like you've dreamt of this fire. You've been like, you know I can achieve this. Like, there's something magical about this fire. There's rainbows here. This is a goddess. Vesta is a goddess. Like, there's something magical. There's something divine about this passion you have, about this project, about the artwork you want to put out, or the version of yourself that you want to share, the message that you have to share, something that you have to share. It's about sharing. It's about giving it, gifting it, because Leo is really giving. Like, it's about gifting it to the world, releasing a project, releasing an album, starting a YouTube channel, writing a book, doing something like taking on a big role as a leader, taking on a big role owning a business, taking on a role as a parent for someone. It's huge. But it's like you're going to feel so empowered. You're going to feel, and you're getting a really strong like glimpse or embodiment of this in the next 3 months, where it's like, well, you're feeling empowered, you're feeling really strong, you're feeling really confident, and you're feeling really in alignment to achieving this ultimately. So yeah, the next 3 months, I'm not seeing it's definitely going to be the whole big bonfire, but it's going to be the beginnings, and it's the beginnings that you need, because you've been working in the dark. I'm feeling like you've been working in the dark, and you've been like, oh my God, is this even going anywhere? Am I even going to release this? Is it, you know, like those kinds of questions that you can have. So you've been kind of working in the dark. So Spirit wants to like bring this light in, bring these sparks in of hope, where you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting somewhere. I'm doing this. And again, like I said, just over time. Saturn rules time. You guys, are so interesting. Saturn rules time. Saturn is the lord of time in this 3-dimensional reality. So it's like, as time progresses, I'm telling you, things are going to keep getting better. It's uphill from here. Well, in a good way though. Uphill from here. It might be a little bit uphill from here, you guys, with the Saturn energy, I have to say. But in a very satisfying way, right? In a satisfying way, like where you go out to hike a mountain because it's hard, right? Because it feels that, you feel that burn in your muscles, and it feels good, and you get that exercise, and it's strenuous, and you get the reward of getting to the top. So what I did mean to say with uphill from here is that like it's going to just keep building from here, is more the right way of saying it. Like I said, the sparks of the fire at the beginning, but over time it's just getting better and better and better from here. It's just getting better and 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 better, and it builds upon itself, and the fire grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which also equates to more success, or more eyes on you, more subscribers, more sales, whatever it is. Okay, group 3, let's pull another card for you from a different deck. Let's see, next 3 months for group 3, next 3 months for group 3. Ooh, okay. Answering the call, the time is now. The time is now. Ooh, back of the deck. I knew there was a message on the back of the deck. Overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. You can overcome anything. And it's the sword and the stone, you know, from the Arthurian legend, where he can pull the sword from a stone because he's the chosen one, the aligned ruler or whatever. Interesting. So answering the call, the time is now. Something has felt blocked and the door is opening, right? Like the door was shut and you weren't able to get through, and now the door is open and you're able to move through it. That's the thing. And it's almost like starting. It feels like a beginning. It feels like the beginning of a new era, right? Because with Saturn, it feels like some kind of a cycle that you have been through, but it's like the restriction is leaving. The restriction is alleviating in some way, so you can move forwards, so that you can start towards that path of like, yeah, a lot of success, a lot of notoriety of some kind with the Leo energy. Like, I feel you will get some kind of definite notoriety for this transformation or this project or this work that you've been doing. It could be a personal transformation. It could be a emotional, mental health transformation. It could be a physical health transformation. It could be an appearance transformation. It could be, like I said, releasing a project, releasing an art, releasing an album, releasing it to the world, gifting it to the world though. So the time is now. Something that was blocked is becoming unblocked. Something that a door was shut and is opening. That's something Spirit wants you to know in the next 3 months. Very tangibly, in the next 3 months, a door will open and you'll begin to walk down that path towards this success, like this ultimate success, right? Like I said, I keep getting the image of the bonfire. Imagine you're creating a fire from scratch and you have to just rub the sticks together, and you keep rubbing the sticks together, and that's the energy you've been in. Is like you've been rubbing the sticks together and it's been taking ages, and you're like, Spirit, there's no fire yet, what's going on? Spirit's like, keep rubbing the sticks, it'll come. And you're like, right? But you do. You keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep rubbing the sticks, and then you get the sparks. And that's the moment when the door opens. And in your perception of things, you're like, wait, this is possible. I actually can do this. I'm actually getting results. Before that, when no sparks were coming, when you were rubbing the sticks together, you're like, is there any point? Is there any point? Is it even going to do anything? Am I really even going to achieve anything this time? Oh my gosh. And then you see the sparks and you're like, oh my God. And this door opens in your perception of your reality and your perception of what's possible. And you start to walk through it. And then as you do that, it's like the fire, right? The fire starts to light. The fire starts to light. And then you keep walking, and you're like, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden there's this huge bonfire, which is symbolic of your success on the stage in some way, your success, like being seen in some way, because fire attracts attention. You look at fire in a room, you look at a candle, you feel drawn into the fire, to the light. It brings light into the darkness. So yeah, group 3, it's all starting now. And any obstacles that you've been through that have made you feel like this is impossible, this dream you have or something, nothing is impossible. Spirit's saying you can overcome anything that you feel like is a barrier between you and your success, between you and your dreams, really. It's because the answering the call is really answering the call to your dreams. It's like, hello, this is the universe. We have your dreams ready for you now. You just got to go out there and grab it. So anything you've been through with the Saturn energy, with the obstacles, I know Saturn can make it really feel like you're waiting a long time for these obstacles to be overcome, but they are overcoming. There's something shifting in the next 3 months where a door is opening where it wasn't open before, and you're getting that first glimpse of like, whoa, just how big this path is, just how big this destiny is, just how close you are to your success. Really, really, really you are. You're so in alignment. Saturn wants to remind you like just how in alignment you are. Because like I said, Saturn, it can do your head in a bit with Saturn. You can feel, like I said, like you're just walking on a treadmill, right? Am I getting anywhere? Am I getting anywhere? Am I getting anywhere? My karmic cycles, I feel like I'm just spinning in a circle, you know, the rings of Saturn, you're just spinning around. I'm just facing that same challenge. But it's like, oh my God, answering the call, you know, the door opens and you get to be freed from that cycle, from that same cycle that was just keeping on playing out and playing out and playing out. So Spirit's like, yes, you're going to see that. You're going to be like, the door's open. It's almost like, imagine there's this door in the forest, right? And it's into this new world. And you're like, every time I come by this part of the forest, the door's always shut and it's always locked. And you really hope that one day you're going to walk there and it's going to be open because you really want to explore what's on the other side of it. You really want to get to the other side because you know there's so much there for you. And then one day it's like you're almost given up. You're almost like, well, is there any point? Is there any point me going and checking the door in the forest because it's always shut every time I go? And Spirit's like, keep showing up, keep checking because it's going to be opened. And that's the obstacle that you will overcome. It could even be an obstacle that you think is like completely impossible, where you're like, there's no way that this could ever be overcome. Well, there is. There is. And that's that magic energy I was picking up with your first card, where it's like there is this magical energy you have about you and that you have over the next 3 months. And I want to say 3 months and then 2 years. I'm getting a 2 year because Saturn cycle lasts around 2.5 years or something, but I'm getting like 2 years or something, where you're going into this era where you're like really successful, like right? Like the Wheel of Fortune. I just realized what that was. That was Spirit showing me the Wheel of Fortune, where you go from the bottom to the top. Okay, so you're going from the bottom to the top, for real. Like you're at the bottom in something and the world is spinning up and you're going to the top. And like I said, the next 3 months, you're getting the results. You're getting the sparks. You're getting like, oh my God, this is real. The door's opening. It's possible. I'm actually doing this. Oh my God, I actually get to go. I get to get, and it's so exciting. It's the beginning. It's like that beginning of the destiny path. It's like, oh my God, the call to action, the hero's journey begins. But I'm seeing it's like the start of this huge cycle where by the end of it, you're at the top of the world in terms of your success. And for some of you, it could take up to 2 years, but for some of you, it might even be less than that, you know? Okay, let's pull one card, I think, to finish group number 3. Spirit, group number 3, what's your advice for them over the next 3 months? Ooh, that's exciting. Look, we got 2, because I feel like back of the deck. So we've got Joy and Delight. That's the card that came out for you. Oh wait, Joy and Delight, open your heart to joy. We got a fairy. And then we have Grace and Gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Okay, So this is a really nice message to end with. Over the next 3 months, you're going to have very tangible things to be grateful for. You're going to have very tangible, like, look, open. See, it says open your heart. And I feel like that's about the open door. The door opens and it opens your heart. And you're like, oh my God, I just realized this is real. I just realized this is happening. I just realized this is possible. A lot of gratitude, grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. And look, open your heart to joy. Oh my God, they're so connected. I'm feeling like the joy that's bringing all this gratitude into your life, right, is this door opening for you. So that is something that you can tangibly look forward to in the next 3 months. A door that was previously shut for you that you really wanted to be opened is opening. And you're getting the results, you're getting things to start moving, to really start to progress. But I'm seeing for you guys, for how big the success is that Spirit's taking you on, is going to be more like a 2-year journey where you're getting all the way to the top of your field, of your work, of your dreams, of whatever it is. So okay, that is your reading group 3, and enjoy the rest of the year, or whenever it is you're watching this, the rest of your next 3 months. And I'm sending you so much love on your path. Bye.